Hi, for this particular exercise, we will go over some chords. Now, some of you might have seen the exercise before where I showed you the C major chords, arpeggio. Then I had another video with the F major chord, FAC, arpeggio, then together as a chord. And then the G major, G, B, D. Now, playing in a chord progression, if I was playing it all in root position, and let's say the rhythm is 1, 2, ready, and it would be 1, 2. If I was playing to G and then back to C. And that's one way of playing it. But another way to play it would involve playing the root position, other than the root position. So let's review. I don't know if I did this in one of the videos, but let's do it anyway. So for C major, there's one way to play it. This is root position because C is the lowest note. Then, and that's root position. First inversion, I have a C on top, and then second inversion, C is in the middle, E. It's the same chord, C, E, G, C, and then G, C, E. So, and I'm going to do the same thing with the F major chord, root position, F, A, C. Then first position, F is on top, F, A, C, or A, C, F. And then now when F is in the middle, C, F, A. So the same chord, different position, root position, first inversion rather, second inversion. And then the same thing with G major, G, B, D. This is a root position, B, D, G. Still the same notes, but now G is on top, first inversion. And then D, G, sorry about that, B, D, G, B, that's second inversion. Root position, first inversion, second inversion, okay? So you want to practice those different versions because when you're playing a piece, you don't necessarily want to play Now, there might be some songs that might be appropriate to play that for, but in general, you want to have variety in your playing, and so that's where knowing the different inversions and how you can have a smooth transition between the different chords. So I'm going to play the same C, which is the, we call the one chord. This will be fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth chord. This is the fifth chord. And another name, just for you to know, this is what we call a tonic chord because this is a C major scale, right? So this is what we call a tonic chord because whatever key that you're playing in, that key is what you call your tonic key. And the fourth degree, which is also a major chord within the C major scale, is what we call a subdominant chord. And then the fifth chord, G, G, B, D, that's what we call a dominant chord. There's a whole aspect with theory behind with those different names. We're not going to get into that now, but just to give you a little background with that. So if I was going to play these chords, and if I want to keep a smooth transition, I can play root position here, and then I can go to the F chord, and then I could play this chord, which is the G chord, and back to C. So I played that, and my hand did not move much. See? And sometimes what's good to do too, that help you with transition with between chords, is if you have a note in a previous chord that you can keep, that will be used in the next chord. And so in this case, I have C, E, G, but I also have F, A, C. But there's one note in that chord which is similar in both, and that's the C. So in playing that, instead of jumping from there, I just move the other two notes over one. See? So now I'm playing C, F, A. That's still an F chord, but this is now the second inversion. And then to play the G chord, I have two different choices. What I chose for this first, what I showed you here, I just moved over to, I moved down to the B. I played the D, and then now I played the G. So basically I changed over like that. And notice with the fingers, now one of the times I showed you I'd use, I like many times using my forefinger with my chords, but you could use your third middle finger. But I like doing it. I have big hands and I can do it, it's not a problem. Now that time I played a little different than what I showed you before, but getting back to what I originally showed you, C major, F major, the second inversion, then the G major in first inversion, because G is on top, then back to the C. And notice, going from the G to the C major chord, there's a note that's being shared between the G major and the C major chords, and that's G. You have C, E, G, and you have G, B, D. And so I was able to keep my pinky and then play the next chord and I only had to move these two fingers, and I could play it like that, but it's a lot easier as playing with the middle finger like that. So that's one way of doing it. And I'm going to show you a similar thing with the left hand. And play octave below. Now, one of the things that you have to notice with chords with your left hand, you have to be mindful of is that you don't want to play them too low down, because they get muddy, the sound of it. I know sometimes the music calls for that, and there might be a purpose for that, and we understand that. But in general, because see, so I would avoid playing that, especially playing these music called triad chords, because it has three notes to it. Bass on thirds. And let's say if I was playing something, let's say with the right hand I was doing a playing the melody up top. Then I might even play up, bring it up an octave with the left hand, playing the same thing. Or you could use the middle finger, like that. Do it again. Middle finger. There you go. So that's one chord progression. I'm going to end right there because I don't want it too long. So that's chord progression of showing you playing C, F, G, where you can have a pretty smooth transition without moving your hand too much. Wish you all the best in your musical studies.